Hey, my friends. So recently I picked up three of the Mora knives all-round 746, or as my friends usually refer to it as the Mora 746. This knife uses the 12C27 Sandvik stainless steel. It's a fairly nice budget grade, fine grain stainless steel. And it uses a 4-inch blade on this particular model. It has a 5-inch oversized rubber overmolded handle. The overall length of the knife is 9 inches. And when the knife is in the sheath, it has an overall length of 9.5 inches. So not overly large. And it has really an overall very compact and streamlined profile. The blade weighs about 3 ounces, and the blade in the sheath, the total package is 4.1 ounce. I paid $10 for each one of these, and that's after tax and shipping. So out the door, $10. You can't beat that. These knives can be found typically between $12 to $13. I have seen them as much as $15, but you just kind of have to shop around, find the best deal. Now, what I've done is, on each one of these three 746 that I have, just made some mods. They're fairly simple. I mean, I didn't do nothing dramatic. I just want to share them. The first sports desert camo paracord wrapped on the sheath. And also, I have a belt loop dangler. And the reason I did this is because the belt loop that comes, or it's actually molded into the sheath, is just way too small for my belts. So it says it can hold up to like 1.5 inch belt, but let me tell you, it's so narrow, the profile to feed the belt in, it just doesn't fit any of my belts. And so what I was told was that it's actually meant or made for European belts. So maybe those in Europe, they just use smaller belts. I don't know. That's just what I was told, but kind of thought that was a little odd, or at least interesting. It's just here in America, a lot of us, we use some pretty big belts. I mean, most of my belts are 2-inch belts at the minimum. I have some that are even 3-inch, but yeah, so there you go. When it comes to another mod on this one here, we have, besides the paracord wrap and the belt loop dangler, that it kind of allows the knife package to kind of sit a little bit lower and to be more free moving when you go to sit down. It's not going to be all bunched up like it would be if it was on a belt. So it's not so rigid. But I also did a small retention loop just to kind of reinforce that knife up against the sheath. Now, this particular knife is pretty secure in the sheath. It definitely snaps in there and it's good to go. It certainly isn't going to just pop out on accident. But there is just a little touch of play, a little bit of play in that sheath, even when it's all the way locked down. And so when you put a retention strap, band, cordage, or whatever you want on there, you just kind of lock it in, and it ain't moving anywhere. So that's kind of the first setup. The second setup, it involves woodland camo, and you can see here, used woodland camo paracord to, just like the other one, wrap around the sheath. And then I kind of have a different setup though. So instead of it being, used as a dangler on your belt for like belt carry, this one is designed to go and actually wrap around the headrest of my vehicle's passenger seat. So it would go on the back side of the passenger seat. And if I need a knife, it's right there, but it's out of the way. So that was the purpose of that. And this one also has a retention loop, just to, once again, reinforce a very secure, tight fit with the knife in the sheath. Now, this last example is my favorite, and it's the most extravagant of all of them. And it's more of like a bushcraft setup, a survival setup, a camp setup. And I made this one for neck carry. And it has, first off, you can see that it has olive drab paracord wrap. Underneath of that, though, It has different size fishing hooks that are taped up on the actual sheath. And then there's actually a bit of duct tape that is wrapped over that. So I have the tape if I need that for whatever reason. On top of that wrapping on the sheath, I put, and actually kind of as I was wrapping it, I put a section of a chem light. I actually took a chem light. Some people call them glow sticks, but this was actually a commercial grade chem light. And after I used it, I actually cut it down and made it as like a piece of tube. And it just happened that the ferro rod fit in there perfect, as if it was made for it. It was pretty cool. So I got the ferro rod that sticks in there, and it is held tight with some shock cord. And I used the shock cord from recycling some parts from an old jacket. It was like a rain jacket. And I was just taking some parts off the rain jacket, and the shock cord is still very good. It's in very good condition. So I used that to secure the fire steel or the ferro rod, as well as just using it for the retention. The retention band for the knife handle and up top here on the setup. There's also a striker that came with the ferro rod, and so I took a piece of that shock cord and tied it on there, and I slid the striker in the section where you would put your belt through. And so you can kind of see it's a very small belt loop set up there, but it just happened. I'm kind of lucky on this, but my striker was just the right size to slip in there. I mean, it's very tight and secure though, so I'm not worried about that, but it just happens to work. And it's just a really neat setup, I think. So I got my striker there and some, retention, just a loop retention there for the handle, and all that busyness going down below with the wrap and the ferro rod and the fishing hooks and the duct tape and all that. And then, of course, I have the bit of paracord that has been cut precisely for me so that I can wear it around my neck for neck carry. And really, with all the little add-ons, it doesn't really add that much to it. It literally is still very light. And I mean, it's not a problem to wear it around for a few hours, no problem at all. And of course, you could always just leave it in a pack. You don't have to carry it around your neck. But with all this cordage, if I wanted to, I could wrap it around a belt enough times so that I could belt carry this as well. So really, you have some options with this. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with you. I hope this was interesting on some level and gives you some ideas. But yeah, Moras are really pretty much across the board high value, and they're really fun to mod out, to customize, and to just have fun with. And so I wouldn't be surprised in a few months I might change these out and try new configurations. But that's the beauty about this. You can always change them up. Nothing's permanent. You don't have to get worried if you wrap something the wrong way the first time. You can just do it better the second time or the third time or the fifth time. And so, yeah, you can always sometimes just, if you have a moment, think about it further, and you might come up with even a better design than before. And it's just kind of a really fun thing to do on a budget. If you are having a problem with finances and you're like, man, I just want to have something that I can work on. This is something that you can definitely just, work on over time, or you can just, finish it overnight. I put all these three together within just a few hours last night. And before that, though, I took one of them out, and just went out in the woods and used it just to see how it cuts. And it does cut really well. It has a rather thin profile, so it does, slice, cut, really easily. Makes, feather sticks with no problem. All three of them came razor sharp. I mean, no joke. It was very good. I mean, there was no problems with that. I have touched up only once the one that I took out into the woods and used extensively. And I just simply took, a medium, grit, white ceramic rod. It's just standard rod made of ceramic material, and I just touched it up. I mean, it took me like maybe 1 minute, and I mean, it's back to hair popping sharp. So really easy maintenance, and it's just something overall that's fun once again. So once again, you take care of yourself. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts about this or suggestions, feel free to leave it in the comment section. There's all kinds of things you can do with these things, and there's all kinds of other projects that are out there. So, it's almost impossible to get bored when it comes to the outdoor, sports. So, get outside and have fun. Catch you later.